Hey everyone, it's Laurie from Cook Scrap Craft, and I am doing another process video for the Off the Board challenge with pineapple papers. This is a monthly challenge, and here's what I'm using as my inspiration. This is a monthly challenge where we take something from Pinterest, from our Pinterest boards, and use it to inspire us to scrapbook something. So in the description box below, you'll find the links for everyone who is participating in the August challenge this month. Everybody picked a different pin, so it's going to be really interesting to see the different layouts that everybody creates. So you're sure to get a lot of inspiration. Make sure that you hop along and hit that subscribe button. Follow everybody who participates so you get lots of scrapbook inspiration every day, probably. I don't know how often everybody else uploads their process videos, but here on my channel is a process video every Tuesday, plus these, plus some bonus process videos like this Off the Board challenge. I'm on the Challenge Yourself design team, so there's going to be that as well. And then I do extra fun stuff like my Scrapbook and Cards Today inspiration series, which I have 2 things planned for that one. And I haven't done them yet, but I will. So like we're done traveling, summer's over, school's going to be starting soon, and I'm excited because that means I'll have a lot more time to scrapbook. So what am I doing here? You saw in the layout that was shared earlier, and I didn't write down who it was from, but I will have linked below the pin, so you can go directly to the pin and see the original one. But I recently pinned it, actually. And as I was going through my Scrapbook/Cards Pinterest board, I thought, you know what, this could be really good because I have a whole bunch of photos of from my daughter's kids running series that she did in the spring. And I was like, how am I going to put all of these together on a layout? I could do like a 2-page layout, but I mean, there were a lot of photos that I took. So what I decided to do was take the inspiration from this layout. It had a bunch of circles on the background, and then the photos were actually on top of the circles. But I said, what if I cut all the photos into circles and make that be like the layout, you know, since I have so many. So I broke out my Creative Memories circle cutting system that was actually given to me by my mom for my birthday one year. And what I love about this system, I guess they still sell it, I'm not sure, but there's that transparent overlay, and it lets you see the sizes and makes it really easy to figure out, okay, like I want a 2-inch circle, so I'm going to need to use this plastic circle thing with this color blade. I love that because you can get a lot of different sizes, and it just makes it really, really easy to see what you're doing so that you don't accidentally cut something the wrong way. Although, not gonna lie, I have accidentally cut something the wrong way using this system, but for the most part, it's pretty foolproof. So it actually comes with the overlay, the 3 circles, and then 3 different blades, and it's really easy to use. I am not planning this out at all. I'm just literally taking all the photos and looking to see which size would work best, because some of the photos are close up while others were taken from farther away. So it made more sense to make the farther away ones a little bit smaller so that I could crop them down, and then you could really make my kid the focal point as opposed to seeing just a lot of grass or another person's child. I don't want other people's kids on my layout. So yeah. That was just my plan. Whatever sizes worked best for the photo. And then I'm just gonna, you'll see in a second, I'm just gonna like layer them all together in a way that is gonna be pleasing. So originally I thought maybe I would do a white cardstock, like a Vicky Bouton. And if I do this again, which I probably will, I would do a mixed media background. Take foundation paper, do a mixed media background, maybe like the package technique. I will throw a little bit of mixed media on here at the end because obviously I do splatter zone like almost everything, but I didn't do any mixed media, any preliminary mixed media before putting down the photos. But that is definitely something that I would do for next time. So if you're thinking of doing something like this, I would consider doing a mixed media background and then layering the circle photos on top of that. So I'm basically trying to make the photos go across the page on a diagonal, which is how my inspiration layout showed it as well. And what I want to do is just have them kind of all overlap. The top one is going to be going off the page, And then I'm going to insert smaller pattern paper circles to kind of build everything out just a little bit. And I already have, you probably, if you are a follower of this channel, you might have seen the video that I did a couple months ago about how I use up some of my paper scraps by punching them into shapes using paper punches. So I already had a bunch of small circles, I think like 1 inch and 1.5 inch size. I already had them punched out and like ready to go. And since I'm not really using like a specific collection, I mean, I have a blue piece of cardstock. It's just a Recollections cardstock from Michaels. I wasn't really bound to using specific patterns or specific colors or a specific collection. So I was really able to just kind of go through what I had, the circles that I had punched, and just kind of use whatever ones and make it totally random. I feel like you've been getting a lot of randomness lately on this channel, so I hope you enjoy it. So yeah, I just need to obviously first get my photos adhered down. So I'm very carefully, without trying to disrupt the order that I have, trying to carefully put some adhesive squares behind the photos just so they stick down. And then some of them I am popping up on foam dots. And that is something that I probably should have done, or I could have done with a couple more of the photos if I had been thinking about it, but I didn't think about it until after I'd already started adhering everything. But I do get a couple of the photos popped up on foam dots or foam squares. And then I will also pop up a couple of the pattern paper circles as well, because I want more popped. I've got a couple popped up down at the bottom of the diagonal, but I want a few other things popped up at the top just to give a little bit more dimension up there as well. So I've got all of my circles stuck down. Now I just need to build out even more with the circles patterned paper. I could have also used the Creative Memories circle cutting system to cut the pattern papers. I could have cut like different pattern papers or pattern papers that went along with the blue cardstock paper pad, because that was from a Recollections paper pad. So obviously it had other coordinating things with it. But I just decided, since I already had these smaller circles popped up and I didn't really need larger pattern paper circles. Obviously I could have done that, but I felt like anything bigger would have ended up like just kind of covering the whole page. And I really wanted it to be a very specific or a very visible diagonal like line of bubbles, you know? I didn't want this to be just a whole like 12 by 12 thing of circles. So I decided, the smaller circles were going to be best. So it's really just kind of fun to play around and see where everything is going to fit, and where I want it to go, and how to best build everything out, what's going to be flat, what's going to be popped up. So I really encourage you, if you are considering doing this, or any time you want to sit down and scrapbook, just experiment, you don't have to adhere anything down right away. It's really about, especially with stuff like this, it's just about kind of like finding the white space, finding the corners, and building out from there. I mean, that's putting these pattern paper circles down is kind of like doing embellishment clusters. Really, I'm just building out from the photos and adding extra dimension, adding extra color, adding extra visual interest. So yeah, just experiment and see where things should fit, and then carefully adhere everything so that it doesn't move and you don't ruin your design. So obviously you can see up at the top and at the bottom, actually, I have a couple things that are going off the page, and so those will need to be cut, but I will do that after I do the title. So I'm using 2 different types of alphas. The pink ones are Bella Boulevard. There's like one of my favorites, and it's Florence, the Florence alpha stickers from Bella Boulevard. And yes, I did make U's be N's. I just flipped them over because I didn't have any U's. No big deal. And then the blue ones are Pink Fresh puffy stickers. I don't remember the collection that those came with, but those were from a past Chamel Best of Both Worlds kits. So I'm making the title be Run, Daphne, Run, because this was a running series, and, everybody loves Forrest Gump, right? So she actually did really well with this. This was her first time doing it. A lot of the other kids had been doing this since they were probably like 2. My daughter didn't get to do it when she was 2 and 3 because even though I wanted her to do it, COVID hit and then they stopped doing it. So they finally brought it back in the 2021-2022 school year. And so I signed her up for the spring. And at first she was like, what is this? This is so hard. But the kids got a medal at the end. They got a t-shirt that they got to wear. So it was fun, and she's going to do it again in the fall. But she wants to like actually train for it, which I think is kind of cool. And the program does offer training videos. So we'll see if she can beat any of her spring times. I took pictures, or I took screenshots of the race results, and I had originally anticipated using them on a layout, but because they were all 4x6 and I couldn't really cut them into circles to show the race times the way that the graph was made, I just decided to toss those pictures, whatever, wasted money printing them out, and then I just I'm going to handwrite the times in which I will get to it, but I'm going to handwrite the times as part of the journaling. So it was 5 weeks. So 5 races. She, in her age group, was doing a quarter mile, which is a pretty long time. It's a long time for the kids to run. I don't run. I just speed walk. But I want her to at least kind of enjoy the process of doing something like this so that she will be able to do some speed walking 5Ks with me in the future. Here's the mixed media, the splatters. I used the speckled lemonade from Tim Holtz because it's so bright and it pops up really nicely against that blue. I hope that these close-up pictures give you a little more idea of the depth and layering of everything. Leave me a comment below to let me know that you're here, if you have any questions about anything that you saw me do, and I'll see you guys next time for more scrapbooking fun. Bye!